for all those who have concerns with curls or anything about hair, I would like to help you. I would like to be a part of your journey because even I am on my curl journey.
Hi guys, welcome back to my podcast channel Something You Wanna Know. Well, in this episode, I have a guest who grew up with me. We have a lot of memories which we share. A friend, a sister, and someone who I'm proud of because she is doing what she really likes, and it takes a lot of courage to do that. Right now, she is on a journey of helping others and herself to manage, maintain, and embrace their curls. She is none other than Nikita Rodrigues.
Hi everybody, I'm Nikita Rodrigues and I'm so happy to be here to share my experiences and my journey in the curl world. Thank you Desmond for having me here.
Let's directly jump into the questions. So the first question to you is, what made you choose hairdressing as a profession?
Well, before hairdressing, it was until I learned to love my own hair that little did I know there was so much in this world of hair and there's so little we know about it. So when I got into before I could get into hairdressing, I started my own hair journey. And when I did so, I got so intrigued and so interested with everything about hair that I said I wanted to know it all. And that is how I quit from my previous profession and jumped into hairdressing. I did take a lot of risks. I did have to take leap of faith, but there is nothing I regret about it. I'm so happy where I am today.
Yeah, it's good. It takes courage, to change your profession and do something what you really like. So I really appreciate for whatever you do. And I will just jump into the next question. When and what made you accept your natural hair? Basically, if you see, as generally girls are crying and never satisfied with their own hair. Either they want to straighten their hair. If someone who has straight hair, they want to curl their hair. So if you can, this tell me about this.
So you're absolutely right. In fact, I was one of those girls who really did not enjoy curly hair. In fact, growing up as a girl with curls wasn't easy. I come from a family of 4 where all my folks have straight hair and I'm the only one with this hair. So my mom had no idea what to do and how to cater to this hair. The only solution she thought to managing my hair was coconut oil and comb it and all of that. So all of that happened, and obviously that was okay until I was in school. And then when you start college and then you cater and you have to take care of your own hair. So there came this whole spree or the time when I just was in love. My best friend was my ironing tool. So
I straighten your hair.
Straighten my hair every time I washed it. I loved straightened hair because I had no idea that there was a whole different world to curls and how to cater to it. It was a whole year of 5 to 6 years when I actually went about straightening my hair. And there came a point, in the beginning, straightening your hair will look good, and I do have thick hair by the grace of God. So it looked very healthy and it looked nice in the beginning. But there came a time, and there will obviously come a time because you're using heat on your hair so much that I started visually seeing changes on my scalp, in my hair, the density started getting thinner, I started seeing balding, and I was terrified. I was like, this has got to stop before I have no hair left on my hair. Fortunate for me, I happened to be living with one Nigerian when I was working in Oman,
Hmm.
and it kind of surprised me with the care and the time they put into their hair, and I got into it. And yes, obviously our curl types are different, but
Hmm.
the more I researched, the more I wanted to do with my hair, because the changes
Hmm.
was real. I could see it visually changing, and I kind of really loved it.
Hmm.
I couldn't stop after then, and that's how my curl journey began. It was, I think, 2 or 3 years back.
Hmm.
So I decided not to touch the iron ever again.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it's very difficult.
Difficult,
You
yeah.
kind of get so tempted, like, you know,
Yeah.
and that's the most difficult phase, you know,
Hmm.
transitioning is the most difficult phase, because that's when your hair doesn't look the best.
Hmm.
You want to straighten it and you want to, but holding on, being patient is going to give you good results. So, and here I am, and
Yeah.
I don't regret anything.
That is good. But what was your inspiration, or who was your inspiration basically? Did you see someone, or you felt it from within that, I need to, be natural from now?
So more than inspiration, honestly, I would say I was terrified of
Hmm.
continuing what I was doing, because I told you, I've visually seen balding, and I've visually seen my density become finer and thinner, and hair started getting drier, and my hair did not look, even after straightening, it did not look like what I wanted it to look.
Look like,
So
yeah,
I
correct.
was terrified, and I had to do something where uh, I could start embracing my own hair no matter what. And I said, okay, even if it takes time and even if it takes effort, I'm going to do it, but I don't want to be bald in the
In
future.
the future, yeah. Ha.
So more than being inspired, I was
Hmm.
terrified. So that's how it all began.
Okay. So, okay, like in your childhood, like since you had curly hair and then used to straighten it, what were the nicknames you were called in school when you were small?
Well, that was yeah. I think this that's really fun,
Hmm.
because I did have a lot of nicknames. Many did call me Noodles. Okay, they were like, "Oh, Maggie Noodles," or
Maggie
you know,
noodles,
things
yeah.
like that. Yeah. So people did call me Noodles. There are
Hmm.
some times when people would stuff things into my hair, the ones sitting behind, and you know, they would play
Okay.
games of who could find it. I used to come back home and find a pencil in my hair, or you know, something. So yes, growing up was kind of funny, fun, and also humiliating at the same time, but
Hmm.
it's okay. I think every curly hair person goes through
Yeah,
this, and
and they can
yeah,
relate to this as well. So,
yes, I'm sure. Yes.
from the time when you started your journey till date, I guess you have opened your Instagram account as well. So can you tell me, like, why did you start a separate account catering curly hair routine? Like, what was your main motive, to start an Instagram account?
Okay, yes, I did start a separate Instagram account
Hmm.
catering to girls, because there are so many other girls, curly girls,
Hmm.
or even boys
Hmm.
who have no idea of how to manage or maintain curls.
Okay.
Now, there are a lot of other Instagrammers, there are a lot of people who are already inspiring a lot of people
Hmm.
out there.
Hmm.
But I wanted to reach out to people, maybe through me. There
Hmm.
could be someone who would be inspired, and even if I make a change in one person's life, it makes
Hmm. A big difference, yeah.
it's like a big achievement for me.
Hmm.
I see myself in a lot of girls out there. Since I am in this profession of hair, and when I go to salon, I see a lot of girls walking into the salon and saying, you know what, just cut it off. Cut it off.
Hmm.
I don't know what to do with it. and I feel them. I
Hmm.
feel what they feel, and it's really sad. I see myself in them, and that is why I wanted to help all those in any ways I could and can
Hmm.
to embrace their curls, embrace their frizz. It is definitely not easy. It does take time. It's a
Hmm.
whole life change. Just as how someone would change a whole different lifestyle to have a good body. I mean, they would change the way they eat, the
Eat.
things they eat,
Hmm.
timings, they have to work out. In the same way, these are certain things you need to do to cater to your hair.
Hair.
And
Okay.
that is what I want to let people know, that don't just think it's your hair.
Hmm.
I mean, invest in your hair. We all know that saying, invest in your hair because you wear it every day. And
Hmm.
that is very true.
Hmm.
So I just want to let people know that to embrace their curls, and frizz is a part of curly life.
Yeah.
You cannot eliminate it. You can
Hmm.
tame it and you can embrace it. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, that was really nice. I guess you should tell our listeners your Instagram handle as well, so they can, go and follow you.
Yes, for all those who have concerns with curls or anything about hair, I would like to help you. I would like to be a part of your journey, because even I am on my curl journey. Let's do it together,
Yeah.
and follow me on Curl Up with Nix on
Hmm.
Instagram.
Ah, sure. I hope you get more followers. So,
Yes, thank you.
there's a common question, maybe if maybe your followers or my followers may ask, or if someone who has curly hair, they might ask, what is the common hair concern you receive from your clients? Like, what's the main concern?
The main concerns that come from people, or generally from anybody of any sort of hair, is hair fall. Now, people think that hair fall, if they have like, there are people that are really obsessed with their hair. They like hair. Now, this is a thing,
Hmm.
okay? It is it is not very unusual for someone to like their hair a lot. There are
Correct.
people who like their body a lot, so they work towards it. There are people who like their hair a lot and they put in a lot of effort. So
Hmm.
there are certain kind of people who think that they have a few strands of hair when they comb it, and that's a major hair loss.
Hmm.
Now, that really doesn't mean you are facing a lot of hair loss.
Hmm.
Hair losses can be due to different reasons,
Hmm.
and having hair loss on a daily basis is also normal. It is
Hmm.
normal for a human to shed or have certain amount of hair loss.
Correct.
Now, when you see a sudden change in the pattern of hair loss, where you see like a balding, suddenly you wake up in the morning, or you find hair everywhere, like you see it on your pillow, or you see it everywhere and a lot of it,
Hmm.
then that's a concern. Hair loss, do not
Hmm.
consider hair loss as a problem.
Hmm.
Think of it as a symptom. It's like a
Okay.
symptom. So once you
Okay.
know there's a hair loss, there is a problem, and
Hmm.
try and tackle the problem. So
Hmm.
trace the history behind your hair.
Hmm.
See what is the problem. Have you started a new medication recently? Have you
Hmm.
moved to a new place recently? Have
Hmm.
you have you changed your diet recently? For women, have they just recently delivered? Are they going through menopause? There are so many different reasons why you could have hair loss. Simply, even stress and not being exposed to sun, vitamin
Sun.
D, could give you
Hmm.
hair loss. So you
Oh.
have to find out what is the reason for it, and once you know the reason is when you can cater to it.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's about hair loss, one of the most common problems.
Hmm.
And curly hair problems, they can follow me on my page and get to know
They
more.
can get to know more. But really, whatever you said, it really helped me also to understand about hair loss and about hair in general, how to take care. Because normally, if you see a guy or a girl, they will go join the gym, they will take care of their body, but they forget, to
True.
take care of your hair. I feel if only someone start losing their hair, that is the time when they understand the value of hair. So
Yes,
I think
yes,
so, to our listeners, it's the right time to, take care of your hair. And I think so, Nikita is one of the
yes.
best person to follow, and, she will advise you with the best tips. So let me ask you another question. Like, for example, if someone is having curly hair, okay, but they are still straightening their hair every day, how would you convince that person to accept their natural hair, like their curly hair? How would you convince that person, if you can tell me?
Yeah, that's very difficult to do, because for people who approach me through DMs, people who approach me generally when I meet them,
Hmm.
I can have a conversation with them and I can tell them things they need to do and need to start keeping their irons away and things like that. But apart from that, it's not an overnight process. This cannot happen overnight. You
Overnight, yeah.
cannot wake up in the morning and
Hmm.
expect you to have fabulous hair.
Hmm.
As I told you, you need to have patience and
Hmm.
consistency.
Hmm.
If you have patience and if you keep going on for months together, following certain routines, making sure of what you're using and what you're doing to your hair, taking
Hmm.
care of it, is when you will start seeing results. So
Okay.
even when people approach me on DMs, I can tell them, they come up with problems and they say, why isn't my hair looking that way? And I already use this and I already do that and but you will not have the results in just 1 or 2. Sometimes it took me like a whole 2 years to get to where I am today.
Hmm.
So all I would say is patience and consistency is what will lead to them. And
Yeah.
convincing people, it's not easy, but I really try. And I'm so proud of all those people that actually
Accept.
have been patient and using my advice and are somewhere in their curl journey. So I'm really proud of them.
What I can say is curly hair is much better than straight hair because even I
Yes,
have
I
curly hair.
agree. I
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's the, it looks much better as compared to straight hair. Curly hair is much better.
yes. Actually, all hair is good
Hmm.
if taken care of.
Taken care of,
If
yeah.
taken care of. Yes, curly hair is a little more time consuming, a little more effort,
Hmm.
a little more stubborn,
Hmm.
a little more. Curly hair has a mind of its own.
Hmm.
Like today, if I want my hair to sit this way, it won't happen because I want it to sit this way. It will happen the way it wants to. So
Yeah.
it has a mind of its own. And I think embracing my curl has just got out my real personality. And that is what I love about it.
Okay. Could you explain us what is CG or CGM?
Okay. CGM, it's curly girl method. Okay, it's a term. Curly girl method is a hair care that is designed mainly for people with curls. Now,
Okay.
just because it says curly girl method doesn't mean it's only for girls.
Hmm.
It is for everybody that have curls. Okay,
Okay.
so it's a method. There are techniques under it, there are methods under it, there are certain stuff you need to do and don'ts
Hmm.
that caters specifically for
Hmm.
curls.
Hmm.
It is a big thing now. CG, following the CGM,
M.
curly girl method, is a big thing now. As you can see, I'm one of them.
Hmm.
Okay, and I visually, and there is a lot of visual changes that a person who gets into CGM sees. But
Hmm.
again, as I told you, it's a lifestyle change. Now,
Lifestyle
when I'm
change.
saying lifestyle change, I mean curly girl method. When you're a CG person, you have products that are CG approved,
Hmm.
which is silicone, paraben, and sulfate free products. There is a certain specific towels that we use for our hair, which is called a microfabric towel.
Okay.
There we do sleep on satin or silk pillowcases to avoid frizz for the next hair. We use scrunchies and bonnets. We have short forms and terms like no poo, pre-poo, co-wash, scrunch, raking. There's a whole lot of new things just as someone who would cater to their body have, leg day and this day and that day. So we have a lot of those things, like it's my deep conditioning day, it's my co-wash day, it's my so it's a whole lifestyle change. And there are very few girls in India that know about it, but now because of people that are sharing the knowledge and information that they have, we have a big community of curly girls that are catering and that are into the CGM method. And it's good to see so many people embracing their curls. And so that's about it. That's what CGM is.
It is really good. But if you can tell our listeners an Indian brand which they can use, for curls, which they can trust and which they can feel that, there is no chemicals or no toxic, if you can suggest us some brands.
Yes. So there are now, honestly, there are a lot of international brands that are there for your curls and products that are available, which is really good and does work. But you know what? The good news is India is also not lacking behind there. We have Indian brands that are now specifically coming out designed products for curls. Some of the brands that I already use, and these brands are not really easily available in drugstores. Okay. FYI, they're not available in drugstores. Some of the products I have already reviewed in my page. So some of them are Arata. It's 100% chemical-free product. Then we have Curl Up. That's also an Indian product. We have Kalyakesh, which has come up with, it's an Ayurvedic herbal hair mask, which has a lot of natural ingredients in it. So curly hair method. So we believe that CGMs or curly girls have this thing where we believe that using chemical-free products has really helped for our hair, and that is very true. Because curly hair is generally very delicate, it's very sensitive, it's usually dry, it's always dry, because of which it is very brittle, it's easily breakable. So hence we use satin, silk, stuff like that, and products that are chemical free for the maintenance of our hair. And so those are some of the brands that I have already named. Apart from that, there are many more. Everything's available online now, so you all can go to their page and check it out.
Yeah, if you can't find anything, maybe you can just follow Nikita and she will advise you with the right products. You can DM her on Instagram. And let's go to a fun segment, since you told me about some terms. Okay, so I will ask you, what is no poo? Can you explain or elaborate what is the meaning of no poo?
No poo. Yeah, so these terms are really funny. So I still have a funny thing to say. Like, there was this once when I used this term to a guy, no poo. And he's like, does that mean you don't need to poop? And I was like, no, that really doesn't mean that. But no poo is the term we use when we do not shampoo our hair. Okay. So that is no poo, no shampoo.
So no poo day, like you can say a no poo day, like if you have not shampooed, then.
So if we don't shampoo, we co-wash. So if we do not shampoo, we co-wash. Now co-wash is conditioner wash and not co-workers washing together. Okay, so it's conditioner wash. Co-wash is conditioner wash.
And there's another term called as pre-poo, if you can explain that.
Yes. Don't get that word wrong. It doesn't mean you have to prep before you take a poo. But pre-poo actually means prepping your hair before shampoo. That is why it's called pre-poo. So what we do in pre-poo is you either use your hair, you do a deep conditioning, or you oil your hair, you massage your hair, you give in that extra nourishment and the care and the conditioning that it requires before you go and clean it up with shampoo. So that's a pre-poo.
Pre-poo. Okay. And there's another term called as dirty DC. If you can tell me that.
Dirty DC. DC is actually called as deep conditioning. Now, why dirty DC? Dirty DC is like a quick DC where we just like, if I'm in a hurry, I don't want to really deep condition by washing it, and then so I would just apply a deep conditioner on my dry hair, twist it, keep it on for some time, and then go and wash. So because it's quick, because it's messy, it's called dirty DC, and there's no other ways why it's called dirty DC.
And there's another word called as scrunch. If you can tell me what is the meaning of that?
So scrunch doesn't really mean that sound which you get when you eat wafers or Lays. Okay, that scrunch is different. The scrunch is basically what it really means. It's one of my favorite styling methods. My definition of my hair, my go-to styling technique is scrunching. Scrunching basically is you do scrunching when you style your hair with products on it. You go from down to up and you squish it. So this is called scrunching. And when you do this, you get a certain kind of sound, like a squeaky sound, because your hair is wet.
Okay.
Many curly girls use this method. There are many other methods and techniques to get a certain kind of definition. Not everybody will achieve the same definition, the same result. So I always advise my friends, my curly friends, that do not compare your results with somebody else. You know, do not say that why can't my hair look like that blogger or that Instagrammer. Honestly, everybody's curl type is different. You need to know your curl type first. You need to embrace your own hair, because if you're looking for something that someone else has, you're not going to be happy until you don't embrace yours. So
correct.
That's
And if you want to know your curl type, you know who to message. One and only Nikita. So there's this last term which I will ask you, that is SOTC. If you can tell me what's the meaning of that.
So SOTC means scrunch out the crunch. Now when you're done, this happens, this is the last step, I would say, of styling. What really happens here is when you're finished styling your hair with cream or the gels or anything that you have applied, especially gels, there is a certain kind of hard cast that your hair has on. So there is this certain kind of hard cast, and we leave our hair on with the cast until it's 100% dry. Once it's 100% dry, we SOTC, that is scrunch out the crunch. Because it's a little hard and stiff, we again scrunch out the crunch. And that's how our hair gets softer, fluffier, more voluminous and stuff like that. So it's the last step of your whole routine on your wash day. So
Thank you so much. Let's end this, but before going, if you can just give us maybe a tip for our listeners, on how to just take care of your hair in general.
So to begin with, please use a silicone, sulfate, paraben-free shampoo, conditioner or products. Make sure you start learning to read the ingredients behind your products. Please start oiling and head massaging your scalp often. That is very important, you guys. Deep conditioning or giving your hair a little bit of that extra other than just shampoo and condition and all of that, at least I would say once a month. But if you really want to see results that are visible quicker, do it every once a week, and that's what your hair needs. A little bit of extra love, care and attention. Listen to your hair, see what it says, see what it feels, see what is there. Is nothing wrong in asking questions. So if you have a concern, you can always get in touch with me and ask me whatever your concerns or queries are. If I don't know about it, I will definitely find out, educate myself too, and help you share the knowledge as well. So
Yes. Thank you so much, Nikita, for giving a good advice and a tip, and letting our listeners and me know about how you have to take care of your hair, and taking care of your hair is also an important part in our life. So thank you so much for coming on my show. Well, that's all for today's episode of Something You Want to Know. I would like to thank Nikita once again, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you and peace out.